Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath, and it's time for another thrift store video. I kind of can't believe it. There hasn't been this many thrift store videos in such a short amount of time since the beginning of the series, like Thrift Store 1, 2, 3, 4. Those all came kind of right, like one right after the other. And then it kind of got further and further apart, but it's back for right now, at least. So I'm going to ride the wave while it's there and just enjoy it, because it probably won't last forever. So with that being said, I'm going to just fly through this stuff really quick. I've got movies, video games, records, CDs, and some books. And a lot of this stuff is kind of fringe. Some of you guys like when we go a little bit outside the box. Not your super common stuff. There's not a lot of common stuff in here. This is all kind of weird, fringy, eccentric stuff. So buckle up. With that being said, I picked up I got 3 DVDs. I got Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. Now, some of this stuff, 2 of the 3 items here I believe they have Blu-rays, but as I always say, better to pick up a DVD for $1 or $1.50 and watch a movie than to hold out for the highest definition experience. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I only watch 4K. I'd rather watch the movie first, and then when I can upgrade, when an opportunity presents itself, then I can do that as the opportunity presents itself. But I'd rather see the movie first. So I picked up the Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. I also picked up, this is another one, The Taking of Pelham 123 with Walter Matthau and Robert Shaw in it. Now this has a Kino Lorber Blu-ray that I've been meaning to get for a long time. Like every time Kino Lorber has a sale, this thing drops to like $12 or $13 on Blu-ray, and I always mean to get it, and then I just never do. Something happens, I have to cut down the cart, something like that. So now, you know, again, $1.50, I can watch this whenever I want to watch this. It's all about access for me. That's my message. My message is not necessarily HD or premium experience or even physical media. It's access. Like, love the stuff you love, have access to what you want to watch on your terms. Don't let somebody tell you when you can and can't watch something. This is very cool. A Warner Archive DVD of Night Watch with Elizabeth Taylor, Lawrence Harvey. I know very little about this movie, but it was interesting because it was in the last thrift store video, I believe, that we had a Sony Choice burned. You know, this Warner Archives DVDs are burned on demand, so it's a DVD-R. But it was just in the last video that we had another burned disc. So some collector somewhere has parted with their collection, or maybe they passed. I don't know. Let's skip to the video games really quick. By the way, I like I said, I know very little about this. Have you guys seen this? You got any thoughts about it? Recommendations about it? It's a very cool cover. So just seeing the cover, I was like, I need to check that out. It's 1973, directed by Brian G. Hutton. I don't know who that is. I picked up an Xbox game. You guys, Xbox games are like dirt cheap right now. I don't think this will always be the case. This is going to be the next nostalgia cycle, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era. We're kind of seeing it with PlayStation 1, but mostly like Sony tried to launch the PlayStation 1 Classic and failed. Now, I don't necessarily think they failed because of the games themselves. I think they failed because of some other errors, like European versions of games, poor selection, things like that. And Nintendo 64 is the one that really seems to be burning up right now. Anyway, these will not always be cheap, but they are right now. I got this for $1.50. This is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I used to have this for PlayStation 2, and I never beat it. I don't know why. I guess it was just there's a lot of areas of my life where I'm like, I used to have that and I traded it for credit or something like that. I've probably traded, you see all these movies back here? I've probably traded more than that in my life. Just traded it away for 5-for-1 credit or something like that. You'll give me $2 for this game I paid $40 for? Okay. It's weird times, you guys. But I have reacquired this for Xbox, which I think Xbox had higher. I kind of like the Xbox more than the Play. I was always like a PlayStation devotee, but the Xbox was a little bit more powerful, and it just felt better. And I haven't had any. I talked in the last thrift store video about my PlayStation 2s have the lid closure error. You don't have those problems with the Xbox. No, you do have the red ring of death, which is a whole separate thing. But anyway, this is cool. This is an RPG, a Lord of the Rings RPG. And I liked it. I honestly don't know why I got rid of it. But I grabbed Halo 2 for $1.50. It's got the manual. It's got the game. Flawless. Both of these, the Third Age and Halo 2, look like they've never been laid on a table or anything like that. They look great. Let's do books. Let's do books really quick. There's something really cool in here, you guys. The first, these are kind of a trilogy of a piece. I collect Star Trek novels. I collect these books that feature the original crew. Kirk, Spock, Bones, Sulu, Uhura, Scotty. I'm probably leaving people out. But I collect these novels. I have an extensive collection of them. I'm trying to build the whole thing. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of them. I actually have a checklist on my phone at all times. So when I run across books from this series that I don't have, I grab them. And these are kind of cool. They're not canon or anything like that, which who cares? Who cares about canon? But they kind of bridge the gap between the original series and the movies, and then past the movies, the fiction that was going on with these books. You know, Peter David wrote some of this stuff, and they're just really good. I really enjoy those. So that's that. I grabbed this book, X-Men Codename Wolverine, by Christopher Golden, and it is I like these Marvel novels. Like, I've got a few of them. I've got an Iron Man novel, a Generation X novel. I enjoy these. A Fantastic Four with a Silver Surfer novel. I wish we had more of these, more novelized, comic-related properties. So this is basically it takes place in the X-Men universe. The cover alone, we've got Banshee, we've got Mystique, we've got Sabretooth. Looks like Black Widow. I'm not sure. I haven't read it, but that sure does look like Black Widow to me. So anyway, that's exciting. And then this is the coolest book haul. You guys are going to be like, what? I don't know, maybe. Jason Lives, the Friday the 13th 6 novelization. Now that is cool. I always love finding these horror novelizations or these horror spin-offs. Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher series, my favorite horror series. Bree likes Nightmare on Elm Street better. She likes Freddy better. I like Jason. Maybe that speaks to our sensibilities. She's into the psychological aspect, the realm of the mind. I'm into just brute force and banging sleeping bags against trees. Hey, we each come from our own place, whatever. But this is cool. I'm so excited to see this. I got this from the same thrift store that I got the Freddy's Nightmares book from a few thrift store videos back. So maybe they came from the same collection. You can never tell. Kind of hard to know. But let's do CDs and then we'll do vinyl last. Some of these things, I'm like, what? Like Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. Yeah. Led Zeppelin, In Through the Outdoor. This still has the tag. It says it was $1.99, but I believe there was a tag sale. $1.99 is a lot for a used CD. Not for used Led Zeppelin. But you shop the tag sales, you get like an additional 30 or 50 or sometimes even 70% off, depending on the color of the tag sale. The Cars, The Greatest Hits. Kind of been going through a Cars phase lately. You guys, I picked up one of the Cars albums in a previous thrift store video from the same store I bought this from. And I'm also watching The Midnight Special. I bought a box set of The Midnight Special, the old TV series from the 70s. It ran until 1981. But live musical performances from rock's greatest acts, and the Cars were on that. Shared a billing with Alice Cooper, so you get to see Alice Cooper and the Cars on the same bill. Very cool stuff. But kind of been going through a Cars thing lately. And then Billy Idol, Vital Idol. Love Billy Idol. This has the Complete White Wedding, parts 1 and 2 on it. Money Money. Dancing with Myself, Flesh for Fantasy, really cool stuff. And Katy Perry, no comment. This I'm not ashamed. I just don't really have anything to say about it. Like, there's like all these cool 70s and 80s acts, and Katy Perry. But you know what? She's talented. I enjoy it. I'm digging a hole now, so I'm just gonna bail on that conversation. You guys will see something really cool. I got a Red Fox uncensored comedy album. It's still sealed. It has never been opened. They had 2 copies. They had one that was open and one that was sealed, and I grabbed the sealed one. Red Fox, obviously, I pulled this from the collection for visual reference. Obviously, Fred Sanford. And it is he was a comedy giant, known for his unfiltered, uncensored, very raw comedy. In fact, there's an album, I might pop it up here. I'm not going to say the name of it on the channel, but I might pop it up here. He was unconvinced. He was a pioneer for a certain kind of comedy. You know what? For all comedy. When comedy was still doing the "take my wife, please," he was doing stuff that was super unconventional. Definitely revolutionary, definitely valuable for what he brought to the table. So I haven't listened to this, but I'm excited about it. I didn't want to open it off camera. But yeah, I like to do that here. So as I'm opening it as we speak, and this is going to be harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm in. So nothing super exciting. Okay, look, it was a cutout. It was a remainder. So it has the hole punch through it. You guys ever find a CD or a vinyl record or something like that, and it's got the hole punch through it? It was probably a remainder or a promo copy or something like that, meaning that once it's been punched, no returns, sales final. So I'm stuck with this record if I don't like it. Ooh, it is beautiful. New vinyl is always super sexy. And hey, this is new vintage vinyl. So, okay, rapid fire. Burt Bacharach's greatest hits. I really like Burt Bacharach. Austin Powers. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach. I'll Never Fall in Love Again. This Guy's in Love with You. This is the sound of the late 60s. It really is. Captain Tiki. Get up here, Captain Tiki. Captain Tiki loves Burt Bacharach. He's a huge fan. Listen, he's into surf. He's into the psychedelic movement, but he really loves Burt Bacharach because you can put it on when you're on the yacht, when you're on the boat. You can pour yourself a nice cocktail and just vibe out. Maybe do some dancing, some slow dancing in the moonlight. Very romantic, Burt Bacharach. So Captain Tiki knows what's up. He'll be listening to this, maybe more than I will. But Burt Bacharach's pretty great. So this is a super interesting curiosity. It's the Shadow. It's audio drama. It's the old Shadow radio plays. And those are, I think they may even be in the public domain now. So you could probably download it on MP3 or something like that. But this is, I think it's two Shadow adventures on. Yeah, two complete radio adventures, one on each side. But this stuff is really cool. The complete Shadow, let's see, Death Stalks the Shadow, the complete show, exactly as heard on the Mutual Net, January 16th, 1944. So that is very cool. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. Sounded pretty good, right? So I had to grab this. This was super cool. This is one of those things you don't see everywhere. So again, I haven't listened to any of these. These thrift store videos have come so close to each other that there's been no time for... I haven't even cleaned this stuff. And you guys know I'm a stickler for cleaning these things first. I did a cleaning video. Boots by Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking. This little hairy kid. These boots are made for walking. Well, that's just what they're going to do. And one of these days, these boots are going to walk all over you. Hey, if you were on a desert island and you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? It's Will Ferrell's bit. Credit to Will Ferrell. Nancy Sinatra, obviously the daughter of Frank Sinatra. These boots were made for walking. Classic 60s stuff. This is another one of Captain Tiki's favorites. He knows what I'm talking about. This thing looks great. You don't find... They had another Nancy Sinatra record there that I was interested in, but it was like somebody tap danced on it. This one doesn't look like that. This one looks really good. No scratches. But it's hard to find really cool vintage 60s music in good shape. And this is. So score for me. We are winding down. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. This is actually my third copy of this album because every time I buy a copy, I think I've gotten one that will play without scratches or pops or skips or anything like that. Pops don't bother me as much as the skips, but and they always do. Like it'll look really good, and then you play it, and then it'll have something that it skips. So third time, maybe the charm. I think this was $1. So, and it still has like. The original Musicland sticker for $4.99. But anyway, another one, Captain Tiki loves Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. This is super cool, you guys. This is super cool. The Godfather, the original soundtrack on vinyl. It still has the $2.99 price tag on it. And this one as well, the jacket is a little beat up, but the record looks like it's never even been touched. There's no fingerprints, there's no dust, nothing. I'm making an offer you can't refuse. We're building up here, saving the coolest record for last. The Memphis Sound of Charlie Rich. You guys know I love the 50s Sun Records guys, and this is a Sun Records album of Charlie Rich. Charlie Rich was a contemporary of Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, the Giants. All that 50s sound, the rockabilly pioneers. A little bit rock and roll, a little bit country, a little bit like everything. Like that 50s Sun sound was an intersection of so many different roots of music. I really like Charlie Rich. It's got CC Rider on here. Now, this is a 1974 pressing, so it's not super vintagey, but I love Sun. Sun is one of the... If you ever get a chance to go to Sun Studios in Memphis, you got to do it. There's so much history in that building. You can see the piano where these things happen. Jerry Lee Lewis's piano with the big cigar burn on the keys where he was like, we're done. He burned a cigar on the key of the piano, marking it forever. Such a cool place. You guys got to check it out if you ever get around to Memphis. This is the last thing, and I think this is, at least of the records, this is the coolest. Johnny Cash sings Hank Williams. Now, there's only 4 Hank Williams songs on here. The rest, by the way, this is Sun Records. And this, so I have, you guys know I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. I have this massive 63 CD Johnny Cash box set. I love it. I have not listened to all 63 CDs. I tend to get stuck on my favorites. But and there's a if you're interested, I have done a video review of this, a full disc by disc review. This is the complete Columbia collection. It's the stuff that Columbia, when Columbia signed Johnny Cash. This is everything he did over the course of like 30 years. It's 63 CDs. But you know what's not in here? Johnny Cash sings Hank Williams. It skips it. And I don't know why. It goes from the album before it to the album after that. And I don't know if it's a rights thing, if it has to do with the Sun Records, someone withholding the rights or holding on to those rights, if it has to do with the Hank Williams estate. I have no idea. But this has been a hole in my Johnny Cash collection. And now I have it. And this is another one that it just looks so good. It's still shiny. And I did a little research on this. I don't think that this got repressed. I think this was like an original I want to say 1960, but I could be wrong, pressing. And I don't think it got repressed later after that. I think that it was only one. But there's nothing like this Charlie Rich record says 1974 on it. This doesn't say 1974. It doesn't say anything on it. So I'm led to believe, I could do some research on discogs.com with the number of the record itself to determine when exactly this was. But anyway, that's not even that important to me. What's most important to me is that I have filled this hole in my Johnny Cash collection because I love Johnny Cash. Captain Tiki also loves Johnny Cash. So guys, that is this thrift store haul. Pretty good, right? Pretty out there, pretty unconventional. Eccentric? Yeah, for sure. So guys, what's going on in your thrift stores? You finding anything cool? Just let me know and we'll talk about it in the comments below. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out for the duration of this video. I appreciate you so very much. And until next time, I will catch you later.